Hi, my name's Vladimir Skok. I work with the federal government in Canada, the Cultural Ministry Canadian Heritage, where I'm the director of e-culture. And I was involved in the last 5 years in setting up two collaborative cultural portals, culture.ca, and one for the Canadian Cultural Observatory called culturescope.ca for a narrower audience of cultural researchers. And I'm here because when you're doing something as new and important as innovative of moving culture online, you better do it right. And so I thought the best thing a few years ago was to work with other colleagues around the world who are trying to do the same thing, and that gave rise to the Culture Mondo Portal Network. And I'm still here as a member of the network and a member of the steering committee to make sure it keeps going, and also Canada helped start the network. I was the chair for a few years, and we served as the secretariat. And this is the fourth year, and it's changing and growing, and I'm happy that Taiwan picked up on it because they've been great from the start. People who are working in this field are pretty passionate people, and they're also very smart people. And they also, if they have egos, you don't see it that much. They're actually really willing to share and work with each other. And that's really to a degree, I think, an underlying vision about sharing cultural diversity, and what better way to do it, what more efficient way to do it than doing it online. If we're really trying to kind of raise culture higher on various agendas, as well as to understand and share our culture and celebrate our diversity, the thinking from the beginning was that if everybody has an online window or windows, and somehow we can kind of align them without putting them all together, we have a much more interesting dynamic when it comes to that social, cultural part of our life in our societies. And that's what I see happening here. I mean, it was explained today by an outside speaker that we are very modest because the subject matter of culture at the international level is important, but we're talking about, in our own countries, in our own regions, working on getting culture more accessible to citizens, more involved with the lives of them, and that is a very kind of important and pivotal aspect, I think, in where our societies are going. So it's kind of exciting too. We also realize it ain't easy. It's hard for people to understand what we're doing. As someone says, I have a hard time in Luxembourg explaining what I do, so I just say I work for the Ministry of Culture of Luxembourg. And that's a real challenge. And so we're learning a lot of advice from each other, how to position what we're doing, how to get ready for the next wave, how to make sure that our stuff doesn't become redundant, because if it becomes redundant, it's not going to be popular. If it's not popular, it's not meeting its objectives. If it's not meeting its objectives, it could suffer an early death. And au contraire, it shouldn't be suffering an early death. It should be transforming into as close as possible to how people out there are using the web. And that's a real challenge. How do we get culture to be plugged into how people are networking, how people are sharing information, how people are creating online, so that they actually more understand that cultural dimension that makes them tick. I think we're moving outside of the movement to go outside of confined websites run by one institution to multi-platforms done in partnership with those institutions like the government, who should digitize and allow for the digitization of content, other ones that are really good at packaging that content, positioning it, spreading it, getting it out there, getting it used and talked. So really going through the whole range of partnerships between NGOs, government, and the private sector that really is driving a lot of the social technologies to do it. And I think we've all reached that understanding here, and that's a real policy shift.
And how are you going to bring what you learn here back to your work?
I can't wait. I'm sitting there in the back sending messages home. I don't even have to get home. They already know what we're learning here. And in fact, we're changing, we're moving in Canada. We're closing down some portals, combining them with others, trying to give a more holistic experience for our users, trying to figure out how to make sure Web 2.0 and get ready for 3.0 is taken into account in a serious way, in a stable way, in a sustainable way. And getting to bounce those ideas off of someone when you're going for a coffee or having lunch or sitting on a panel together is worth its weight in gold.
Describe how you feel about Taiwanese culture so far. 2 days you have been here. Are you enjoying yourself?
I'm enjoying myself. You've been working me since I got off the plane. We did a press conference yesterday after we did a steering committee redoing the sessions for today, and here we are again. So I'm afraid I won't be able to enjoy myself culturally as much, so I'll have to come back. But I've been working with Taiwanese colleagues now for 5 years pretty closely, and I've been dying to get here. So I'm really happy to be here, and I'm still developing my kind of perceptions about what this place is all about. I explained to Ilya that it reminds me of a proto kind of country. It's and with all the kinds of issues about what Taiwan's status is and things like that. But I'm thinking you shouldn't worry about it too much. Look what you've achieved. Look where you're going. Look how you're thinking. Whatever you're doing, probably the world could learn from Taiwan.
Well, thanks very much for being here, and I think we are all very excited to have so many friends from around the world talking about such subjects.
And the thing I like is that this idea that a few of us had 5 years ago, and now I see all this wonderful promo material at Culture Mondo, really makes me happy.